The hardest thing about any group fitness exercise is just walking in, coming into the studio and saying, all right, I'm doing this. And the important thing is to bring intention into your posture, because that's not only going to help you have good posture, but you're going to be intentional about contracting the muscles that support good posture. Exposing yourself to that constantly will help you be more mindful when you're not working out, when you're sitting at a desk, or when you're at work or walking the dog or whatever, to make sure that you're supporting your body to have really good posture.
Hey, fitness and health fans. It's time to get your game on and crush it with Coach Margella in another episode of Sporting Good Fitness. Join us for the podcast that will coach you from the sidelines to keep you on your game no matter what health or fitness game you play.
Hey, I'm Coach Margella. I'm Sporting Good Fitness. What are you sporting?
Hey, Coach Margella. What do you have for us today?
Welcome back to another episode of Sporting Good Posture. This is Coach Margella here, and today I have a special guest, Katie Coben, and she owns a Pure Barre here in Franklin, Tennessee, and also another one in Boca Raton, Florida. And she's here today to just talk a little bit about how that came about and what Pure Barre is and how it affects posture. The main thing that we always want to focus on is posture. So I wanted to introduce some guests that have things that they do for their clients to help them really get that posture out of it. So Katie, welcome to the show today.
Hey, yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
So you mentioned you had some injuries back in high school, and that's kind of led you down the road towards this. But before we get into that, just explain a little bit about Pure Barre, and if you could explain a little bit about the difference of doing Pure Barre as a workout compared to some of the other workouts that you've done with your previous injuries.
So Pure Barre is basically a 50 to 55 minute full body workout, and it utilizes small isometric movements to fatigue and strengthen the major muscle groups of the body. So our movements and our workout is really based on low impact but high intensity. So it's still super effective, but not jarring on your body and heavy on your joints, which some other workouts are a little bit more high impact. Therefore, they put more stress on the body, which wouldn't promote very good posture. So what Pure Barre is and how it's kind of different from a lot of other workouts in the market is it's very low impact and very controlled movements where you're very intentional on where your body is and what position your body is in. We use a lot of like body weight exercises, but also we put a lot of intention into where your shoulders are, where your hips are, mainly focusing a lot on your body alignment. So whether that means we're in warm up or we're working our legs, which we call thigh work, or if we're working our seat, which is your butt, we're always constantly focusing on keeping, your shoulders right over your hips, keeping your core engaged. So not only are we promoting to clients and pushing clients to be in good posture, but we're actually promoting intention in their muscle contractions when they're in good posture. So it's actually strengthening good posture where when they leave the studio, they're actually just naturally in good posture. They don't think about it. So Pure Barre has been an awesome experience for that. Another huge theme which supports great posture in Pure Barre is core strength. So a lot of the class is themed around, the major muscle groups of the body. However, core strength and core muscle contractions are a huge theme throughout the class. So we may be doing crunches or push-ups or that sort of thing, but we're constantly bringing intention to build that base and build your core so it can support good posture in and out of the class.
What I find the posture problem really is not just a recent thing from sitting at a desk. It's more from the whole process of life that you've had, the birthing process to now and all the incidents and, large or small in between there that's added up to these imbalances. And now you're starting to see deterioration of health as you get older. So, doing something like Pure Barre is awesome because most people are sitting at a desk all day and they're losing their core strength. So they need something like this. And you also mentioned about some of the disc injuries that you've had in your low back. And that's what's really gotten you into that. Could you explain a little bit more about how that got you more into Pure Barre than other kind of workout programs?
Really, this injury kind of led me to find Pure Barre, which I'm not happy that I got injured back in the day, but it has led me to where I am today. So I actually have 2 ruptured discs in my lower back. I did that from doing high intensity, high impact sports in high school. And it just over time, life happens. You've got constantly stress on your back. So when I had that injury, I knew that I needed a workout that was A, going to be safe for my body, B, that I could sustain and continue to do, because a huge part of my life and what keeps me sane is, not only the physical aspect of working out, but also the mental. So I knew I wanted something that was, safe, but also that I could continue to do very regularly. So I actually found Pure Barre, and that's where I started my journey. So I started taking class. I started noticing that throughout the weeks, my core was like super sore, but it was strengthening. And I noticed that like my lower back wasn't hurting, like when I was just walking around or running errands. And so Pure Barre has just really led me to know my own body and know how to be self-aware of me being in good posture and protecting my back, because the core strength and the themes that they have throughout class, it does support your lower back, but it also makes you very intentional and thoughtful, like, oh, I do need to keep my chest nice and proud, my shoulders over my hips. I do need to constantly contract my core a little bit, like when I'm walking, to support that good posture and stuff like that. So, I've always struggled with constantly having the habit of wanting to kind of round forward. But with Pure Barre, it's helped not only inside the studio, but also out, being like, oh, I need to pull my shoulders back. I need to contract my core, stand up tall, that kind of thing. So
my wife has done Pure Barre a number of times too in the area, so she's
you like it?
familiar with it. Yeah, she really likes it. So when you have people come in, what are you finding that they're dealing with the most? Is it inflexibility? Is it poor core strength? Is it previous injuries? What are you seeing the most when people come in, and what are they trying to accomplish the most by doing your classes?
I really love that question, just because I can explain kind of how many people and what type of people Pure Barre can really reach out to. So the great thing about this is we have clients from one end of the spectrum to the other. So we have clients who have been an athlete from elementary school all the way to college graduation, who are just looking for something to maintain their core strength or build it up a little bit more, but also just to stay in shape. But then we also have a lot of clients who have never worked out in their life, and they're dealing with really weak core, and they're dealing with like stress in their back and inflexibility and that kind of thing. And what's great about Pure Barre, it's so low impact, and it's so much of your own body weight kind of resistance. You can really create your own journey throughout your Pure Barre experience. So for a lot of those clients that come in, maybe they had a knee replacement, a year ago, and they're just looking for something to get back into working out and something that's safe. Pure Barre is great for them because it's low enough impact where if they do need to modify, they can still get an effective workout, but still put their body in a safe position kind of thing.
Right.
And then just a lot of clients come in and they're like, oh my gosh, my core's not really that strong, but also like, I just feel like I can't touch my toes. I can't do this. And
some of the basic things.
Right. And so that leads into a lot of stress in the back. So we do have a client that came in. She has 2 grandchildren, and she was explaining to us her whole journey or whatever. She's dealt with not working out for over 15 years. She's really nervous about getting back into a workout routine. But her main concern was like she couldn't pick up her grandchildren. She was like, it hurts my back too much. Like, I don't have enough strength. I can't hold my grandbabies. It was kind of like a come to Jesus moment for her. Like, she needs to do something. And so let's fast forward to now. She's taking 4 to 5 classes a week. She says that her posture feels better. Her energy's higher. And also she has that health and that base where she can enjoy her time with her grandkids.
It seems like you have people of all ages and athletic ranges that are doing these classes. That's great. I think some people, when they go to a gym, they're a little bit intimidated because they may not have worked out before, and they feel like they don't know how to work the machines or know kind of how to do a workout routine. And also maybe if they're not in the shape that they want to be in at that point, they might be embarrassed to go to the gym and be there in front of other people. So I think that's good where it opens it up to everyone, no matter what your skill level is.
A lot of times, like, the hardest thing about any group fitness exercise is just walking in, right? Like, that's the hardest part, is just coming into the studio and saying, all right, I'm doing this. What I love to tell new clients is like, look, we basically hold your hand throughout the whole class in the sense of you could take class with your eyes closed. We specify exactly where your feet need to be positioned, exactly where your hips, your shoulders, all of that need to be positioned. So it's very, very beginner friendly. It's very consistent in structure in what our technique is based on, that, veteran clients who've been coming for 5-6 years can still come in and get a super effective workout and still build and increase their health and strength and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. That also goes back to with posture. I find that it's good to have something like this where it is lower impact, but it is affecting those things they may be lacking. And being more aware of their posture, when they're sitting, when they're standing, when they're sleeping, when they're doing exercises or whatever, and, really look in the mirror and take a look at yourself each day or when you're working out, so you can really see your posture from, all angles and really take a look. And if you feel like you're off a little bit, if you feel like your head's tilted a little bit to the side, if your shoulder is a little bit unlevel or your hips are unlevel, or you feel like on the side view that, you're kind of slumping forward, you get a good view of that when you have all those mirrors around. And really, if you're listening out there, take a look at your posture and just see how it looks. Because if those things don't look right, again, it goes back to the imbalances that are already there. And those imbalances have been there for many years. It's not just, okay, I've been sitting at a desk at a computer recently. It's no, I was born, I fell a bunch of times when I was a kid. I've had sports injuries, car accidents. So all these years now I'm sitting at a workstation, and these cubicles are small now. I've gone to some of these companies to do lunch and learns, and I see these cubicles. They're like 4 feet wide at the most, and there's not a lot of room. That's a big part of it, is just really recognizing your posture, trying to see that and figure out where the problems are coming from, those imbalances.
When you're working out really hard and your muscles start to fatigue, it's just natural to kind of lean forward, or your body just naturally wants to overcompensate in different ways. And the important thing is to, bring intention into your posture, because that's not only going to help you have good posture, but you're going to be intentional about contracting the muscles that support good posture. So
Exactly.
with Pure Barre, So with Pure Barre, you may be in a leg position, or what we call just a thigh sprint, and your legs may be shaking from muscle fatigue, that kind of thing. You may start to lean forward. What's great about it is you've got an instructor in the class that may either come over and hands-on correct you, or over the mic say, hey, remember to pull your shoulders back, shoulders right over the hips, looking forward, not tucking your chin to your chest. And just exposing yourself to that constantly will help you be more mindful when you're not working out, when you're sitting at a desk, or when you're at work or walking the dog or whatever, to make sure that you're, supporting your body to have really good posture.
Posture is really something that should naturally happen. It's not something that you should have a problem with where you're forcing it to happen. It should basically be when you're sitting, you're in good posture. When you're driving, you're in good posture. When you're standing, you're in good posture. And if your posture isn't right, it's really important to address those causes. That's the main cause of that problem. There's a long timeline of events and injuries that you may have had over life that created this unbalance. And it's important to just figure out that cause of that problem. And if you feel like you're forcing it, if you feel like when you're at work, you're thinking about it, I really got to keep my shoulders back. And if you think about it, how long can you really do that? How long can you actually say, I'm going to keep my shoulders back and sit up straight? It really needs to be natural. It really should be just something that you're sitting in a good position or standing in a good position. As far as Pure Barre, it's an awesome way to really engage the core and those muscles that are weak, to get the posture better and to get the body back to its normal balance like it should be. And I'm glad that we got to meet and talk more about this, because these are the kind of things that I want to help patients know. It's going to help you get to where we need to be with getting that posture better and really getting that overall health where it should be. A few episodes ago, I did an episode called The Posture of All Facets of Living. And it's really the foundation of everything that we've built on to this point. And if you haven't listened to that yet, really go back and listen to that, because it's really going to give you the most insight on kind of where we're going and really how to get your body right and figure out the true cause of these problems. And it's a way for you to really even assess it on yourself. So, Katie, I want to thank you for coming on the show today and really giving us a good enlightenment on what Pure Barre is and a little bit about your experience and some of your mindset and also your knowledge on posture and just how important health is overall. I feel like people need more things like this where they can do it and not feel like their injuries are going to stand in the way.
Pure Barre has been my saving grace, and hopefully for some of your listeners, they're hearing about maybe Pure Barre for the first or second time and they give it a try, and that's just what they need to, train their body to just naturally be in better posture and just all over live a healthier lifestyle. So yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's been awesome. I'm excited. So
how would one of our listeners reach out to you?
Reach us through our website or our email. Our website's just purebarre.com/TN-Franklin. Check out our website there. It has our schedule. It has different options. And then also email us at the studio. I'd love to offer your listeners their first class completely free. And then also just 20% off any membership that they would like to utilize. Email us at franklin@purebarre.com. So yeah, tell them to come on in, and I hope I get to see some of them and just start their Pure Barre journey and their overall better posture journey.
Thank you for doing that. That's very generous of you. And everything that we just talked about with Katie's information, website, Instagram, Facebook, all her social media handles will be on our episode page, and it's sportinggoodposture.com/purebarre. So that's sportinggoodposture.com/purebarre, and you'll be able to reach out to her and have all the information from Katie that's on there. Always feel free to reach out to me as well. Ideal Health and Wellness Center on Facebook. My Instagram is Ideal Health Wellness Franklin. DM me. Tell me what's going on, and I'll tell you what I think. Remember, the coach's door is always open. This is Coach Margella. I'm sporting good posture. How about you?
Thank you, Coach Margella, for another thrilling episode. Sporting Good Fitness is a broadcast wellness production powered by Ideal Health and Wellness Center in Franklin. Executive producer, Frank Sardella. Dr. Margella appears courtesy of Ideal Health and Wellness Center, copyright 2018, all rights reserved. For more information, visit sportinggoodfitness.com.
Did I do okay? I felt
you
like
did amazing.
You did great.
I blacked out a little bit. I don't know. But